Okay, this is going to be a quick review of this Laifen hair dryer. Now, this Laifen hair dryer happens to be an Ionic hair dryer, so we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. But before we do, I just want to quickly mention what you actually receive with the hair dryer. So to begin with, you get this user manual. It is quite thick, but it comes in several languages. The English version is only a couple of pages long. Secondly, you also get this sort of safety manual here, and it just points out to always turn or always unplug if immediately after using. So just keep that in mind. You shouldn't keep this hairdryer plugged into an outlet once you're finished using it. You get a total of 3 accessories, beginning with this diffuser. Now this diffuser is plastic. It's got a magnetic ring here, so that's how it attaches onto the hairdryer. Again, it's plastic. It's about 13 centimeters in diameter, and here's how it looks, sort of close up. Again, this is made of plastic. It's about 144, 145 grams in weight. Additionally, you get this concentrator. I call this sort of the mid-level concentrator. It's about 1 1/3 centimeters in width, and you can see both sides here. This is not the one I use. I have quite short hair, so I actually use this last one here. And this one here, the opening is only about 0.3, 0.4 centimeters in width. And again, plastic in nature, but also with a magnetized ring here. I'll just quickly demonstrate how this attaches onto the hairdryer. Okay, quite strong in terms of force here, so this is not going to come off if you're using it and you know, if you've got long thick hair. It's not something that should come off. But anyways, let's go on here. Now, in addition to those accessories, you obviously get the hairdryer. Now, the hairdryer itself, I want to just note here that the cord is about 6 feet in length. It is 1400 watts. So that's a little bit less than what I have come across in the past, and I typically have around 1800 watts for hair dryers, although some of these newer ones tend to be a little bit more efficient, so they can be in the 14 to 1600 range. Again, 1400 is a bit on the low end in terms of my experience of using various hair dryers. Now, I just want to point out something with respect to this block. Normally you would have information related to the power of the hairdryer. In this case you do not. Instead it talks about avoiding shock and how to actually use the hairdryer and utilizing both the reset and the test buttons before actually using the hairdryer. So please keep that in mind. If you purchase this, just take a quick look at this and follow the instructions. It is important for safety reasons. So again, the cord here is about 6 feet overall. Now the hairdryer itself, I'll just turn it over here on its side, is about 24 centimeters in length. This is nearly 400 grams in weight. It's about 390 grams in weight. The diameter here of the face is about 6 centimeters. As you can see, the magnetized ring here, which I demonstrated in a moment ago. Now, in terms of actually using this hairdryer, it has 2 buttons. One is for power and one is for temperature. You've got 4 different options in terms of the temperature. So you've got a cool, warm, and a hot. And then you've also got one that cycles between the hot and the cold. And the way you actually access them is you just press this button and toggle through the different options. If you want to get that cycle hot to cold version going, you just press and you hold this until it kicks in. Now in terms of the speed, you've got 2 speeds. You've got sort of a high and a low, and then you've got the off. Now the hairdryer features an LED ring. It's a little bit difficult to see, but once I give you a quick demonstration, you'll be able to see it. There is an LED ring that goes around here. It's blue for the cool, it's orange for the warm, and it's red for the hot. Then it's got this sort of purple-blue if you're using the cycle that goes between, again, the hot and the cold. So those are the different colors, and I just wanted to point that out because once I start using this, it's going to be quite loud. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to actually go ahead and give you a quick demonstration of using this hairdryer. and we're going to do a couple of tests as well. Just one other thing that I do want to point out about the physical body of this hairdryer is there is a filter here, and this is just attached with a magnet, as you can see. So this filter here is a pre-filter. It's a metallic filter. So you just want to make sure to clean this each time you use the hairdryer. This does not come off, it does not detach, and there is no actual brush supplied. But just take something like an old toothbrush or small brush or something just to clean this, and you'll be good to go. But just keep that in mind that you want to keep this clear so that it can continue to operate as efficiently as possible. So as I said, next what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration. We're going to do a couple of different tests. The first test I want to do is the test related to the airspeed. The listing has it at 22 meters per second. I'm going to test a couple of options, one with an accessory and one without. And then also I just want to see in terms of how loud this hairdryer is. We'll get a sense of that. I've also got an instrument here to check that as well. And then I'll have a few closing thoughts about this, and we'll leave it at that. So anyways, I'll be right back in a moment, and then I'm just gonna plug this in, and then we're gonna get it going. Okay, the first thing I want to do is I just want to quickly show you the LED lights and the different options when you're using this. So I'm just going to put this at the low speed and just give you a quick sense of what this looks like when you're using it. And then we're going to go ahead and do a couple of different tests. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn this on. I'm not going to speak when I'm demonstrating this. But again, just remember the blue is for the cold, the orange is for the warm, and the red is for the hot. And then these purple sort of blue alternating is for the cycle. Okay, so that was just a quick demonstration of the hairdryer at work. Again, the blue was for the cold, the orange for the warm, and the red for the hot, and then the alternating sort of purplish color is for the cycle. Now I'm just going to go ahead and give this a quick test in terms of airspeed. Now, according to the listing, it says it can do 11 meters per second. We're going to do at the high speed. There's no sense in testing the low speed, but we'll go ahead and test the high speed with no accessory. And then I'll put on an accessory, and we'll see if we can get something that's either 11 meters per second or higher or lower, depending on what happens. So let's just I'll take this quick little instrument here, and we'll go ahead and turn this on. Okay, so I don't know if you were able to see that really well on camera, but I was able to get nearly 16 meters per second at the high speed, so exceeded what the listing says in terms of overall speed. So again, that was nearly 16 meters per second. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to put on one of these accessories, and we'll just give it another whirl at the high speed, and we'll see what we get here. I'll see if I can get a better shot here with respect to the reading. Okay, so also was able to get more than 15 meters per second briefly, but it was holding around in the high 13s, around 13.5, 13.7. So certainly it exceeds the listing in terms of overall power, in terms of meters per second. Excuse me, I'm sorry, it was in the listing it's 22 meters per second. My apologies. So at 22 meters per second, it did fall short. So we were able to get about 15 meters per second with no accessory, and nearly the same with the concentrator. So that is well below the listing of 22 meters per second in terms of sort of this crude at-home test. I'm not going to comment too much in terms of how this was actually, the testing was done at the manufacturing, but my sort of crude test here gives you about just nearly 15 and a half meters per second. So just fell quite a bit shorter than the listings 22 meters per second claim. So next I'm going to go ahead and just check the sound, and we're going to see how noisy this is, and then I'll have a few final thoughts, and we'll leave it at that. Okay, so I've got this decibel meter here, and it's at ambient noise is about 35 decibels or so. Obviously, because I'm talking, this is going to be much higher. So we're just going to do a quick test to see how loud this hairdryer is. And I'm going to leave this instrument at about a foot away from the hairdryer just to get a sense of how loud it is. And again, we're going to go at the high speed, and then we'll have to take into consideration the ambient sound here in the room, which again is around 37 decibels. Okay, so with no accessory, it's about 47 or so decibels. And so what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to put an accessory on this, and we'll use the other concentrator in this circumstance just to do a little bit of a variety here, and we'll just give this another attempt here to see what we get in terms of a number. Okay, so more or less the same, possibly just slightly less, so about 47 or so decibels, but a pretty quiet hairdryer, to be honest with you. Certainly ones that I've had are quite a bit louder, so this performs really well in terms of the noise test. But again, just to repeat, when we did our speed test, we did not get the 22 meters per second. So I'll leave it to you to decide whether this is sufficient for you or not in terms of the speed, and you saw the way that we tested it and whether or not that was a sufficient test for you. Anyways, let me just give some final closing thoughts about this. This is an Ionic hairdryer. It works really well despite the fact that it's 1400 watts. What I found that it does a very good job in terms of drying my hair. It works well in terms of styling my hair. I found it to be a little bit easier than I've got a couple of other hair dryers that I've tested in the past, and it worked better than those ones. So certainly this is the best one that I have tried, although again it didn't meet the speed claim. To be honest with you, the other ones that I have reviewed did not meet the speed claims either, but this one certainly performed the best in terms of my actual use, and in terms of overall speed, it also performed the best as well. So this is a very good hairdryer in my opinion. It does give you the 3 accessories. In terms of the Ionic capabilities of it, really the benefit is going to be felt if you have sort of staticky hair. It's really meant to improve that situation so that you don't have any static when you're drying your hair. For myself, as I said, I have quite short hair, so it's not something that is a big issue for me in particular, but something that these Ionic hairdryers do a very good job of combating. So if you've got sort of static hair issues when you're using your hairdryer, this will be a pretty good option to consider. Again, well built and works very well. again, just one other thing to keep in mind, that when you're using this, just pay attention to some of the safety issues for this. I have not had any safety issues, but there are some extra things to point out with respect to keeping in mind to just read the instructions when you're purchasing this and going ahead to use it. Overall, though, quite happy with it, and found it to be quite a good hair dryer, despite the fact that it couldn't meet the listing claim. So anyways, this has been a quick little review of this Laifen hair dryer with the 3 accessories, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one.